What's up, YouTube? To say that 2020 has been a challenging year would be a severe understatement. Millions of people have had their life impacted either physically, emotionally, or financially, and in some cases all three. Many people are still struggling, and some have had to make decisions that they never thought they would have to make. My heart goes out to all those who have lost loved ones during this pandemic. I myself have lost 3 friends to COVID-19, so I have some understanding of what you have or are still going through. But as we prepare to enter a new year, there's still a lot of uncertainty about what the new normal will look like. So today I want to spend some time talking to you about some smart money moves that you should plan to make that will help secure your finances no matter what the future holds. Now, I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I do believe very strongly in setting goals. But we need to remember that when setting financial goals, they should always be SMART goals. SMART, S-M-A-R-T. SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. If you don't make your financial goals SMART goals, there's a good chance they will end up like a lot of New Year's resolutions, giving up on after a short period of time and leaving you feeling like a failure. So I want you to keep SMART goals in mind as we talk about some of the smart money moves you should make in the new year. Are you ready? Well, let's get started. The first smart money move that you should make is to make a plan to pay off debt. If you are carrying debt on credit cards, car loans, personal loans, or even your mortgage, that is money that could be used to fund other goals such as retirement planning, building an emergency fund, planning for your kids' college education, or maybe just funding your vacations. Debt is sometimes a necessary evil, but you have to manage your debt well in order to get the full benefits of using debt without giving away more money than is necessary. The sooner you eliminate some or all of your debt, the sooner you can free up money to be used for other things. The longer you procrastinate about making debt freedom one of your SMART goals, the more money you will give away. Now, there's a lot of free debt payoff calculators available on the web, and I'll leave a link to one in the description below. Just remember, saying I'm going to work on my debt in 2021 is not a SMART goal. It's not specific and it's not measurable. It would be equivalent to saying I'm going to start exercising in 2021. A SMART goal would be I'm going to pay an extra $30 a month to debt X and have it paid off by October 31st of 2021. That's a SMART goal. The next smart money move that I want you to consider making in the new year is to start funding an emergency fund. If 2020 has taught us anything, it should be that everyone needs an emergency fund. Whether your hours were cut or perhaps you lost your job altogether, if you have or had an emergency fund, then you would likely be able to weather the storm better than those who didn't have one. An emergency fund gives you options for how you handle unplanned events. I don't know what the next financial crisis for you will be, but I do know that you will be better equipped to handle it if you have an emergency fund. Again, make this a SMART goal. Either start with your target amount, say $1,000, and then figure out how much you need to set aside each month in order to reach your goal in the time that you specify, say 1 year. In this case, your SMART goal would say, I'm going to save $84 a month or $42 each biweekly payday in order to have $1,000 in my emergency fund at the end of 12 months. If you just say, I'm going to start an emergency fund, that would be like making a New Year's resolution that just says, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Okay, when? And how are you going to do it? Whatever amount you decide to save, don't forget to set it up to happen automatically. Smart money move number 3 for the new year is to start saving and investing for retirement. If your retirement plan is to live on Social Security alone, you better be planning to live near the poverty level, because that's where you're going to be based on your income. Social Security alone is not enough for most people to live on, not comfortably anyway. You are going to need to supplement Social Security with something if you want to have a decent retirement. As I've said many times before, how much you need to live the lifestyle that you want is specific to each individual, but everyone can benefit from having a retirement plan in addition to any Social Security benefits they may receive. Your SMART goal here should be to have an attainable amount in your retirement account by a certain age or in a certain number of years. What is attainable for you depends on how much you can contribute each month and the rate of return on your investment. You have to decide to commit to this, and you may have to be a little tough on yourself in order to get started. But remember, you can start a retirement account with only $50. Again, you can find dozens of retirement calculators out there that will help you project how much you should have based on your inputs. I will also leave a link in the description to a calculator you can use if you don't want to search for one. Smart money move number 4 for the new year is to start tackling your student loan debt. If you've already addressed student loan debt in your other debt plan, great. But most people that have student loan debt don't see it as regular debt. They tend to view student loan debt as a debt that they wish they didn't have, but they don't stress over it the same way they would credit card debt, for instance. After all, they're making payments based on an income-based repayment plan, right? Well, if you are on an income-based repayment plan, that in itself may be part of the problem. A large number of people on income-based repayment plans are in what is known as negative amortization. Simply put, their monthly payments are not enough to cover the interest that is accumulating each month. The result is that you're making payments each month, but your balance is going up instead of going down. So you're basically just giving away money, and that's never a smart move. Your SMART goal here should be to get all of your student loans out of negative amortization by a given date. Or if you have a lot of student loans, make your goal to get a certain number of them out of negative amortization by a certain date. Now you can accomplish this in a couple of different ways. All of the information you should need should be on your loan statements. So one way to get out of negative amortization on a particular loan is to look at the monthly interest accrued and compare that to your monthly payment amount. For instance, if your accrued interest for the month is $14, but your monthly payment on this loan is only $11, you are in negative amortization, and you need to be paying at least $14 a month to get out of it. Now, most people who are on income-based repayment plans have multiple student loans, and their total monthly payment may be $300 or whatever. But it is being split among all of the loans, and chances are they're all in negative amortization. What most people don't realize or don't take advantage of is the fact that you can make extra principal payments and direct it to the loan or loans of your choosing. In the example I just mentioned, an extra $4 a month would change that loan balance from going up to going down. Student loan deferment under the CARES Act has been extended through January 2021, and there's a possibility it could be extended further. What that means is right now there is no interest accruing on your student loans, and any payment you make will be applied to the principal. So another way to get out of negative amortization is to reduce the principal balance to a point where your regular monthly payment is enough to cover the interest and still have some applied to the principal. Please take advantage of this interest-free period to get your student loans to a more manageable position if at all possible. I understand not everyone will be able to act on this right now, but if you can, you could shave years off your student loan debt. Smart money move number 5 for the new year is to make an estate plan. Now I know when most people hear that, they tend to think I'm talking about people who have a lot of money or a lot of other assets. Actually, what I'm talking about applies to almost everyone. When I say have an estate plan, I'm basically speaking of having three key documents: a will, a power of attorney, and a living will or advanced medical directive, or whatever it's called in your state. If you were to die today, heaven forbid, you likely have some assets. Maybe it's a home, a car, some furniture, or some other things that have sentimental value. And chances are you probably have an idea of who you would like to have those assets when you're gone. Without a will, you will have no say-so at all in what happens to these things. If you become incapacitated and you have accounts or other assets that are in your name only, your spouse or other family members may not be able to access those funds even if they're needed for your care. You need to have a power of attorney that gives a person of your choosing the authority to access your accounts if you should become unable to do so yourself. If an injury or illness leaves you on life support and someone has to decide if you would want to continue to be kept alive under those conditions, do you really want to put your loved ones through that? That can be very hard on a family, and no matter what they decide, they will have to live with that for the rest of their life. But if you have a living will or advanced medical directive, you have already stated for your family and for the medical staff what you want to happen in that situation. You can then rest easy knowing that your wishes will be followed and your loved ones are not left agonizing over a decision they don't want to have to make. So your smart goal here is to set a date to get all three documents done and make it happen. The last smart money move that I want to recommend for the new year is to start using a tracking system for your money. I'm calling it a tracking system because some people don't like to hear the word budget. As I've said before, I don't really care what you call it, but you need a system that will track your spending and show you your progress. Now, there are a number of free and paid apps that you can use that will not only track your household spending, but some can even be linked to your debt accounts, your savings accounts, and even your retirement accounts. So you can monitor all of your smart money moves in one application. I will leave a link to a few of the top rated apps in the description below. So those are just a few of the smart money moves you can make in the new year. Which moves will you make? Drop a line in the comments and let me know if any of these are on your list, or if you have other smart money moves you plan to make in the new year. I would love to know what you're thinking. Stay safe out there and stay focused on your behaviors to keep yourself physically safe and financially secure. Think about what changes you want to make in the new year, and like I always say, change your behaviors and you can change your life. So until next time, behave well.